Hi, this is David Lewis. So in this video, what I want to do is I want to talk about using these small Canon printers in a real production environment. So this is the Canon 6030 print, and we're going to literally doing a job of 45 pieces today. And it's important to understand how to use this printer in a production environment. One of the things that you don't want to do with these printers is turn them on and say print 45 pieces. So what can happen is that the print will start ghosting a bit on you, and this ghosting that you're seeing, it even kind of ghosts onto the back as well as, you know, in places on the front. You'll see down here a little bit of the ghosting in the image. This occurs because literally the printer just gets too hot when it's running, you know, this heavy media. So we're printing this as a heavy media, and so it's putting in a lot of heat to heat this up. So here we have the job that we are working with. We're going to be printing this. So we'll go in and we'll select the print option. Here's our print option for this. We're using the Canon 6030 printer. Go into properties, you can create profiles for different media that you're working with. Printing on letter size media, we're not doing any finishing to concern yourself with. The main thing is the paper type. So here we've selected heavy H as our paper type. And then the next thing that's very important is we want to go into the quality, and we go into advanced settings, and we select the toner density option here. We set it to adjust, details button, and this little slider, we slide it all the way over to the dark. So with those settings, then what I recommend that you do, make sure everything is there. You should print one copy and check it, make sure it's all correct. When you're printing on the B paper, you're always printing as a right reading, so it prints right reading, because then it will mirror image when it transfers to the A foil sheet, and then it will go back to right reading when it gets applied to the garment. Print this in what I would call batches of 10. That way you can check. The printer is quite fast, so it won't take long to print these 10 copies. So everyone looks beautiful. We've got nice, clean, crisp print. So here's our 10 copies. So now we've got 10 copies done. We can start production on these 10 copies. Give our little printer a few minutes to cool down, and then come back and print 10 more. So let me show you one of the things that can start to happen. So here's an example of an image where, as we're in production, we're starting to get some faintness of the toner. So we're running a lot of copies through this printer. We're printing a lot of sheets, and so as you know, as can happen, you start using up more of the toner in one area than you do in another. Open up the printer, we reach inside, and this is the toner cartridge for the Canon printer. And literally what we're doing is that we're just shaking this up so that we get a redistribution of the toner inside of it, and putting it back in. And it just slides in, and then now we're ready to print the next batch. So this is David Lewis talking about how to use these small sub $100 printers in production environments. So first of all, is we printed the design as a right reading print. We use this particular design because of the level of complexity with it. It's got a lot of that distressed look. This is the kind of example that really sort of shows off what the FlexSoft can do. All right, so for production, let me show you how we do this. So the FlexSoft sheet has the shiny side and it has the dull side. So the one that goes down first is the FlexSoft sheet with the dull side up. Then we have our printed sheet, and we put that printed side down on top of the FlexSoft sheet. And then we cover that with a piece of parchment. We're pressing this at 300 degrees, medium heavy pressure for 90 seconds to 2 minutes. For new users, we recommend that you go the full 2 minutes when you're first getting started. You know, once you build up experience in working with the product, then you'll find that you can easily run this for just 90 seconds and get great results. We just like to recommend to start off with, go ahead and do it for the 2 minutes. The main reason being is, you know, depending upon the kind of heat press that you're working with, you want to make sure that the lower platen of your heat press has plenty of heat in it. So after the 2 minute time period, then you'll want to get a corner and you want to grab a good grip on the A sheet and the B sheet. You want to keep the A sheet flat down on that hot lower plate, and you want to carefully peel off the B sheet without using too much pressure so you don't accidentally pull the color off of the sheet, just enough so that it peels away and the adhesive with the toner has now transferred onto the A sheet. So what has just happened is that we ran the B sheet with the adhesive through the printer, and the printer applied the powder toner and then in the fuser literally melted it into the adhesive. We then pressed that onto this A sheet and we reheated that toner and back to the melting point, and we fused the other side of the toner onto the coating, this white coating that you see here. So this white coating is now fused to the underside of this toner. So we have our scissors. There'll be a little bit of this adhesive around the edges, especially when you're working with the white. You really won't see it, but I mean, if you can, you know, if you can look right here, you can see a little bit of it here. So you want to make sure that you just assume that it's on all four sides. Get in the habit of trimming all four sides every time. That way you won't make a mistake and transfer that adhesive edge onto a shirt. Position our garment in the heat press. If you've got wrinkles, you might want to press it a little bit to get the wrinkles out, just so you've got a nice, smooth, flat surface. And then you want to position your design where you need it. And again, cover it with a piece of parchment paper. And now this time we recommend to turn the pressure up to high so that you're working with high pressure. And we're pressing this for about 30 seconds. So what's happening at this point is that we've heated up that fuser, that toner, and we've fused it to the coating that's on the A sheet on one side. It's fused to the adhesive on the other side. And so now we're pressing that down into the shirt, reheating everything up again so that we melt that adhesive, soften that adhesive so that it presses down into the garment fibers to really give us a strong bond. So the adhesive is very soft right now. If I were to peel this away at this point, the design would simply come off of the shirt. So this is a thermal adhesive that we want to harden by cooling. You also can use various things if you've got a metal table or something like that. In this case, I've got some metal guardrail, cold window in the winter time. Anything that would cool it down is what you need. So once it's cooled down, then you want to grab a corner and you want to start rolling it off. Just real tight, tight, tight roll so that it will roll away and transfer to the shirt. So you literally just sort of peeled away the foil sheet, the transparency sheet, and left the toner and the coating and the adhesive on the shirt. Now, one last thing that you can do with this, there's, with the Flex-Soft, there'll be little bits of this that have come off from the edges. These are bits that don't have any adhesive behind them. They would simply come off in the first wash. But one of the things that you can do if you want to try and clean this up a little bit before you send it to your client of application tape. And that'll clean off any of those bits of coating that are staying behind in between the pieces. So there you've got, your nice cleaned up design. The foil sheet has a high density to it, and so it doesn't allow the design to go really deep into the shirt. So what we do is we come back with our parchment sheet, again, high pressure, and we're pressing this for another 15 to 30 seconds. And the idea is that this is going to reheat everything one more time, and with the real flexibility of your parchment sheet, it will press it down into the fibers of the shirt so that you get the maximum level of durability and really really bond the design into the shirt fibers. And so now what you can see is the fibers of the shirt show up nicely, and the design is literally part of the garment at this point. So this is how to use the printed sheet that comes with the pack, the starter pack of the Forever Flex-Soft product. I'm David Lewis. Thank you for your time.